Have you ever noticed something strange? The moment you stop chasing people, they start paying attention. Suddenly, the same people who were distant become curious. The same people who once seemed uninterested start quietly watching you more closely. And no, this is not a coincidence. It's psychology. And once you understand what's really happening beneath the surface, you begin to see this pattern everywhere. Human behavior follows predictable emotional rules. One of the strongest is the law of perceived value. People naturally place higher value on things that feel limited and often overlook what feels constantly available. So when you repeatedly chase someone, texting first every time, always being instantly available, always trying to maintain the connection, you may unknowingly send a quiet psychological signal. Your behavior communicates something very subtle. It says, "I will always be here." Now, this usually comes from a genuine place, but psychologically, constant availability can sometimes reduce perceived importance. Not because people are intentionally manipulative, but because the human brain is highly sensitive to emotional certainty. When something feels guaranteed, the brain relaxes, attention decreases, curiosity fades. But the moment predictability disappears, the brain becomes alert again. And this is where the dynamic begins to shift. When you stop chasing, you introduce something powerful into the interaction: space. And space creates curiosity. Suddenly, the other person's mind starts asking quiet questions. Why did they pull back? Did something change? Are they losing interest? This reaction is known in psychology as the uncertainty effect. When your behavior becomes slightly less predictable, the other person's attention naturally increases. They begin noticing your absence. They replay previous conversations. They become more aware of your presence, even when you're doing less. But there is something very important to understand here. Stopping the chase is not about manipulation. It is not about playing emotional games. It is about restoring natural balance. Healthy social dynamics require mutual effort, mutual interest, mutual energy. When one person does all the chasing, the dynamic becomes psychologically uneven, and human nature tends to move away from emotional pressure, but lean toward calm confidence. This is why emotionally secure individuals often appear more attractive, more respected, and more intriguing. They show interest, but they don't over-pursue. They are present, but not desperate, calm, but not cold. And that balance sends a powerful non-verbal message. Now, here is where many people misunderstand this concept. When they hear "stop chasing," they assume it means becoming distant or emotionally unavailable. That is not the goal. The real shift happens internally. It is the movement from "I need their attention" to "I value my time and energy." This subtle mindset change naturally transforms your behavior. You respond instead of over-initiating. You engage without over-investing. You give attention, but you don't force connection. And people can feel this difference almost immediately. Because human beings are extremely sensitive to emotional pressure. When pressure disappears, comfort increases. When desperation disappears, respect often rises. And when your energy becomes calm, grounded, and self-contained, people naturally begin leaning closer. But here is the truth most people rarely talk about. Not everyone will come back when you stop chasing. And strangely, that is actually a good thing. Because the people who only stayed when you were overextending yourself were never truly invested in the first place. When you stop chasing, you don't just change how others see you. You reveal who was genuinely interested and who was simply comfortable receiving your effort. That clarity is powerful. So if you ever feel the urge to over-chase, to over-explain, or to fill every moment of silence, pause for a second. Breathe. And remember this. Sometimes the strongest social position you can take is calm, grounded presence. Because attention that is constantly chased rarely feels valuable. But attention that is naturally earned feels different. It feels intentional. It feels meaningful. And most importantly, it feels respected. If this shifted your perspective, subscribe for more psychology that gives you the quiet advantage.